Tonight's lesson is on finding a common denominator. With fractions, that's very important if you're getting ready to add two fractions or subtract two fractions or compare two fractions and see which one is larger or smaller. So to find a common denominator between 3/4 and 4/5, I suggest you first write them on top of each other. Then you'll look at the denominator of the first number and list all the multiples of 4. So if we skip count by 4, we get 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. And that's probably far enough. Then I'll skip count by 5s to list the multiples of 5. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. That's probably far enough. Then I'll look and see, do I have a common denominator in these multiples? And I see the lowest one I have is 20. So I circle the 20s. Now I use that 20 to make a new fraction that's equivalent to 3/4 and a new fraction that's equivalent to 4/5. So I ask myself, what did I have to do to this 4 to get 20? Well, I multiplied it by 5. So whatever I did to the denominator, I have to do the same thing to the numerator. 3 times 5 is 15. So my new equivalent fraction for 3/4 is 15/20. Now I'll see, what did I have to do to this 5 to get 20? Oh, I multiplied it by 4. So whatever I did to the denominator, I have to do to the numerator. 4 times 4 is 16. So now I have 16/20. And I see 4/5 is equivalent to 16/20. And 3/4 is equivalent to 15/20. 16/20 is clearly larger than 15/20. So 4/5 must be larger than 3/4. Now let's look at another example. Let's say I have 5/6 and 7/8. First, I'm going to rewrite the fractions on top of each other so they're easier to work with. Then I'm going to list multiples of 6. 6, 12, 18, 24, 30. That's probably far enough. Then I'll list multiples of 8. 8, 16, plus 8 is 24, plus 8 is 32. Oh, look, here's my common denominator, 24 and 24. That's what I'm going to use. So I ask myself, what did I have to do to the 8 to get 24? Let's see, I multiplied it by 1, 2, 3. 8 times 3 is 24. So whatever I did to the bottom, I have to do to the top to make an equivalent fraction. So 7 times 3 is 21. Here's my new fraction I'm going to use for 7/8. Now I look up here. What did I do to the 6 to get 24? Oh, I multiplied it by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So whatever I did to the bottom, I have to do to the numerator. 5 times 4 is 20. So that is the equivalent fraction I'm going to use. 5/6 is equivalent to 20/24. And 7/8 is equivalent to 21/24. Clearly 21/24 is bigger than 20/24. So 7/8 is bigger than 5/6. So just then I've shown you two methods of finding a common denominator, and this was useful in comparing these fractions. It will also be useful when we try and add and subtract fractions.